I don't know. I'm too old for this. I have to say, I can't have a boss.
Yeah, but you can't be like, yeah, you owe me everything because I left everything at home. And now I have to be on my knees and give you everything.
No one's owing...
No, but you're saying it in that way.
No.
I'm just telling you, you're not married yet. So legally, it's his. None of it is yours.
When two souls are destined to be together.
Babe? He had actually been messaging that girl while we were filming interviews. Literally when I'm this much distance away from him.
Wow, 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 Johnny boy, you crusty, cheating ass pirate. We clearly have a lot to get into. Let's get to it. Hi guys, welcome back to Nikki Faces Reality. We are here to discuss 90 Day Fiancé the other way. You might have noticed it's been crickets on this channel when it comes to that show. My babes, I have been bored. And so I took the holiday off. I just covered B90, but I have been watching. And then after this latest one, I'm like, okay, we need to do a quick catch up on everybody, but especially Johnny and Chloe, because talk about illuminating. I have been riding for Johnny's ass because I do think that Chloe is a brat. I do think that she hides the ways that she has misstepped, but Johnny has been lying to us from start to finish. You can clearly hear that I am sick. I have been sick as a dog for the past few days. Yesterday, I looked crazy. My skin under my nose is raw. Like, if you see things lifting, it's not boogers. It's literally my skin lifting under this makeup. If my voice goes out, I'm sorry. Please bear with me. But we really needed to discuss this show. I'm taking advantage of the fact that I had to get ready for work. So here we are, okay? Before we get into it, as always, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hype, all of the things. Thank you guys. I do see that you guys do that, and I think that it has been helping with the algorithm. So thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm hugging you. I'm sending you kisses. But let's start with Chloe and Johnny, okay? So quick little catch up. Obviously, the last time that we discussed them, I think that we discussed when her mom cut her off, right? And then we saw them go to the immigration office to discuss options because they were looking into the option of doing the partnership papers because that way she's able to get work. Except when they get to the office, the immigration officer lets them know that that would still take months and that she would need to be in the US for certain months of that process. And remember, Chloe is terrified of going to the US because she's just like, our relationship is not going to survive this. Up to this point, we just knew that she had cheated and that she had suspicions because, you know, he's a pirate and of his past. So at that point, I'm like, girl, if you feel like you need to keep this man on a leash, is that a man that you want? You are too young to be stressing yourself out about that, right? But then the immigration officer is like, okay, well, another option, a quicker option is to get married. And these two aren't ready to get married, but they're doing the thing where they're like, no, but you're not ready to get married. And it's like, no, like, own your shit. You're not ready to get married. Johnny, you don't feel like she's wifey material, maybe because you got someone that's too young, that's still learning about themselves and that is still learning how to live somewhere that's not with their mom. Judging you on that, right? But also, Chloe, I think that she wants him to be like, yeah, I'm ready to get married because I think that she wants to be chosen and wants to have that security that he's not going to cheat. But a marriage, a ring, isn't going to stop a cheater from cheating. So I think that they both are just not being honest with these conversations. Then we see her meet up with a group of friends, one of them being a friend that Johnny doesn't like. And I think that, you know, I can see the ways that he's like, oh, she talks a lot of shit about me. But also, I think it's the friend that has common friends with Johnny and that probably has seen some things, heard some things. And Johnny doesn't like that, you know, she sprinkles in that realism and bursts Chloe's bubble. And so we see them have a meeting where the friends are like, Chloe, you're an idiot for still wanting to be with him. You're an idiot for even considering wanting to get married. Like, go home, live your cushioned life. Like, this is not it. And Chloe's determined. She keeps saying, I think that she thinks that it is it's such a, she's like, oh my God, I'm sacrificing everything. I'm sacrificing my relationship with my mom. I'm sacrificing my job. I'm sacrificing my car. Like all of these because I love you. And the thing is, he has not asked her to sacrifice those things. And I'm not saying that like it shouldn't be appreciated, but I also don't think that it's right for her to drop it every single moment when he didn't even ask you to do that. So like don't use it as a bargaining chip. You know what I mean? Like especially when they're discussing real things, which we will get to. But in this moment with her friend Maria, Chloe and Maria are having this thing that they call meatball night. If you guys watched the Jersey Shore, it's basically a rager, except Chloe says that for them, it's just dinner and drinks, which we all need it. I think it's girlhood. We all need dinner and drinks. We all need a day. We all need a night to just talk and let loose with our girlfriends. It is sacred time. However, Chloe has set rules for Johnny. And so Johnny is like, okay, if you're going to have those rules for me, I'm going to have those rules for you. If he goes out to the bar, she expects an invitation. So he expects that too. And again, this is just another, layer of the toxicity that they can't even have like solo time without there's being this tit for tat situation. So Johnny does crash this dinner with her friend Maria. Maria basically is like, I've heard some things about you. Like I've heard, like I don't really trust you. And like, apparently there was an incident recently where like, Chloe saw that he was like messaging some girl and he was like, oh, it was nothing. It was about like the pirate ship. Like, and for everything that she says, he has like a reasoning and they're just like in disbelief, right? So they leave it at that. I think the whole point that Johnny was trying to make in this though is like, listen, it's not that I don't trust Chloe. I need her to trust me and I want to trust her. I just want her to know that like the way that you guys go out all the time, that's cute when you guys are on vacation, but when we're living here and I'm providing everything, like it can't be a party every time. I get what Johnny was trying to get at. Like, I think he's trying to see if she can grasp the realness part of, being a partner and living on this island within his means. But I also feel like it was naive for him to think that a young girl would be serious all the time. Like, especially at that age. He's lived it, so he knows. At that age, like you do want to see your friends more. And I think that expectation isn't very realistic. Anyway, but now catching up to this episode, it opens up with them cleaning his car because in Aruba, because of the salt and stuff, they have to clean their car weekly. And he feels like he could save that money instead of taking it to a car wash, which is what Chloe would do. However, she is cut off from her mother. And he's surely not going to pay for a car wash week after week, right? So they're washing it together. And she's like, I told my mom what the officer said. And she's, very upset that we haven't made any moves at all. And he's like, well, I think that we should move towards the partnership thing. And she's like, oh, you made your choice? Chloe, you're not ready for marriage. Why do you want him to say marriage so bad, And he's like, well, we're clearly like marriage is a bigger conversation. And I don't really think that we're there. And he calls out the fact that, like, she's not a good person to live with. Like, she doesn't clean up after herself. She doesn't cook. She doesn't do anything. And I know that it can sound like he's being a little machista, but I see what he's getting at. It's not about the fact that he needs her to be domestic. It's the fact that, like, he needs her to adapt to being a partner and not being waited on, like her mom did, or like hired help. And so I'm also a believer that like what you don't do in the beginning, like if I settle for you not doing this thing and it's important to me, if I don't set the expectation that you need to do that now, you're not going to do it later when you feel like you're locked in and comfortable and tenured. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you can't be like, yeah, you owe me everything because I left everything at home. And now I have to be on my knees and give you everything.
No one's owing.
No, but you're saying it that way.
No.
You want me to just marry you and all that, and I know you for a year. It's not that simple. Like, I'm gonna have to give my life commitment. I marry you as a life commitment.
She's taking offense to it because she's like, I feel like you're making excuses because I'm not cleaning enough. But it's like, I can do that. I just don't like it. And it's like, You're missing the point. And then this is where she throws in the fact that, like, I've sacrificed so much, so I don't think that it's valid that you're telling me that because I don't clean that you're not ready to get married.
Here saying I'm giving up so much, I'm willing to do these things that, yeah, I'm not thrilled to do. I don't want to do them. I don't. But I would to do them for you. Especially just I gave everything up. I did it all so I could come here and we could be together. And now you're like, yeah, well, you're not cooking and cleaning for me, so I'm questioning things.
I think that all of it is valid, but I also think the unspoken part is that neither of you really want to get married and you're pointing fingers at each other because you don't want to be the bad guy.
And if I can't see that you can't help me with certain things and you give me attitude about certain things, it does make me question it.
The bigger picture is because I'm not currently in your kitchen does not mean I'm not ready.
So that's where that happened, right? The next time we see Chloe, she is checking into a rental or a hotel or whatever. And she lets us know that Johnny got a new phone. And he went out to do something and he left his old phone in the nightstand. Johnny got messy. Messy cheater. And that tells me that he does it so much that he doesn't even think about it. Chloe, who has previously had access to his location, who has previously had access to the cameras in his home, you think she's not going to go through his phone? Come on now. So of course she goes to the old phone, goes to the messages. She starts seeing him send DMs to people saying, I miss you, send me some nudes. Okay, Colty. There was this girl that he had denied that he was together. This was months before Chloe, I think, but still she had questioned him about this girl and he had completely denied it. She found a series of messages and videos between them. And then Chloe found messages of him and this girl. And she put two and two together and she was like, oh my God, he was messaging this girl while next to me while we were filming interviews, the confessionals for this show. And I thought that was diabolical.
And he had actually been messaging that girl while we were filming interviews, literally when I'm this much distance away from him.
To go, to text another bitch next to your person, that is a level of bold, a level of cojones that none of us should have. Because to be that audacious is dangerous. You mess with the wrong person, different things can happen.
Asking her to send him nudes. He missed her, that he missed having sex with her. And I was right there and I had asked him about her thousands of times.
And so Chloe is like, I can't even look at him. I am so disgusted. She apparently slept over a friend's house the day before. She does this hotel today. We see her friends come over and she's like, I need to be here until I figure out how to get home, right? And the friends are like, has he texted you? And she's like, he hasn't even texted me to see if I found somewhere to sleep, if I'm okay. She was like, and when I approached him about the things that I found, he was like, oh, you went through my phone?
And then to make it worse, when I caught him and I took photos of the phone and sent them to him and left his house and was like, I am done with you. I'm absolutely disgusted. Then the only thing he said was, you went behind my phone, behind my back.
You mother effer. Is that all you care about? That is crazy. And it's almost like the mask fell. Because he basically was like, come and get your shit. And she's like, I can't even look at you. And he's like, come get your stuff.
Come get your now. I said, I don't want to be alone near you. I don't want to look at you. He goes, okay, I'm going to throw it out.
It's mean. It's
mean.
So mean.
And I just think that how people act at the end of a relationship says so much about how they feel about you and how they think of you. And think about it, you guys, right? Johnny was making all of these promises to her mother just a week ago about how he would take care of her daughter, about how he would make sure that no mistakes are done again. And this is a situation where he's in the wrong, right? To not care for her safety in the least speaks volumes. Accountability is hard for some people, especially when they are caught in the way that they're caught, right? But the fact that he didn't lead with an apology, the fact that he led with deflection and then like pointing fingers is so disgusting. And again, at his big ass age, Johnny, that is embarrassing. And the next episode, we see him like packing her bags and being like, we'll see what she wants to do. Like, yeah, I made a mistake, but like, it's up to her how she wants to move forward. That does not sound remorseful. That doesn't sound like someone that's willing to like regain trust. That is disgusting to me. So yeah, like I was just shocked because again, like I was giving him the benefit of the doubt. Do I think that he was a player before? Yeah, but I felt like with everything that we knew thus far, that was before Chloe, right? That was before. Oh my God, you guys must have seen this shit sliding throughout. I'm crying. Oh my God. Okay, anyway. So it's just gonna be disgusting. We will keep up with them in the next episode. And then the others, let's see. We're just gonna go down through the couples. Pattiya and Dylan, y'all. So Pattiya and Dylan, I think the last thing, I didn't cover it, but we saw them go to a strip club. And remember, Pattiya really misses like nightlife. She really misses her life. She's in this, really quiet place in Tasmania, but she's here for Dylan. But by this point, right, she's been there for a few weeks. Dylan hasn't proposed. Dylan hasn't paid off her debt. Dylan is still talking to his mom a lot. I thought this was like a clever bargaining chip for Pattiya. She was like, well, I think that I've been thinking that I should go back home for a few months and dance to pay off my debt. Then I could come back. And he was like, no. Like, also, like, Dylan doesn't want her to dance, which he recognizes as hypocritical because, hello, they're both strippers. That's how they met. But he feels like, for women, it's different. And I'm like, sir, if you're making those kind of asks, you got to pay up. Because clearly something's got to give. And I think that's kind of like Pattia's attitude. And then the next time we see him, he's going to clean off the engagement ring with one of his boys. And this is the engagement ring that he took back. And remember, a lot of us were like, why would he take it back? Like, that's rude. And then like continue a relationship, right? But he lets us know that the reason he took back this ring is because this was during a time that she had a lot of debt and she was selling a bunch of her stuff, a lot of her jewelry, and he didn't want her to pawn this ring. Like, it was special. So he took it back, but he didn't mean to end the engagement, even though that is what that means to anyone else, That is what she took it as. But he's kept this ring all this time. He went to get it polished. And his friend and I both were like, isn't it like a bad omen to give the same ring again? But he's like, no, it has a significant meaning. So in this episode, we see him take her, I think, to his like favorite park in Tasmania. And it is gorgeous. It is breathtaking. And Dylan just starts giving her a monologue. I say monologue because it came out of nowhere, but you could see his eyes like glistening, like he's starting to cry.
When two souls are destined to be together,
Babe?
they're bound by an invisible thread.
Once it registers to her that like, oh shit, he's about to propose, you could see her eyes shining like a Disney princess. And he's just like basically saying like, I love you. Like, we're meant to be. You're my soulmate.
That thread may stretch, it may tangle, but it will never break. Because when something's meant to be, it always finds a way.
Are you doing what I think you're doing?
It was such a sweet proposal. And honey, Pattiya has her ring, and he's hoping that this will make her chill the F out, not leave. Let us see. Let us see how it goes. And with the rest, you guys, it's a lot of the same. I mean, Manon and Anthony have been complaining, fighting about businesses, etc. I think in the last episode, it was a really good conversation we saw her have with her mom, because her mom was a stay-at-home, and Manon is the oldest, and Manon is like, listen, like, I understand that you think that I'm being a bee for prioritizing work, but when I was a kid, I stressed a lot about money because of you. You made me do math for shit. I could see when we were in a deficit, and I don't want that to be my life. And so it was such a important conversation to see what makes Manon Manon. Do I still think that she needs to work on her temper and the fact that like she sucks the air out of a room sometimes with her drama? Yes, but I do think that like that anxiety comes from somewhere. And then in this episode, we see them move into a new house together. It's like 2 hours away from her parents. It is in the middle of nowhere, but it is a quiet village life. I don't think she's gonna love it. It's very beautiful, but she's not gonna love it. It's not, it's not hustling and bustling. And then Greta and Matthew, they broke up. We saw that. I think her dad was like, not her dad, his dad went to have a conversation with her, really tried to get her to like come to her senses. She's like, no, it's not happening. I think next week we're gonna see Matthew post breakup. Then we have Luke&Madelein. We saw them, I think we discussed the fake out pregnancy situation. Thank God she's not pregnant with that man baby. In this episode, it's like a day before their wedding. Luke conveniently has to go handle business, and Madeleine is stuck with his dad, who really showed his true colors. He was like, oh, you really shouldn't be jealous because you're my son's world. And also, what's this conversation about you wanting your name on the business?
Or I'm just telling you, you're not married yet. So legally, it's his. None of it is yours. He's given everything he has to you already. Just don't put the pressure on him. He's under enough pressure.
I got
What do you say to that?
And listen, I hear you guys, and I hear him, and that he should protect his assets. They're not married yet, like it should be under his name. I don't have a problem with that in principle. I think my problem with that is if he wanted that to be a separate thing, then Madeleine should have not been involved. But Madeleine was good enough to do the legwork for that business. She was good enough to be the liaison between the contractors and Luke. She was good enough to fulfill the paperwork. She was good enough for all of these things, but she's not good enough for credit. I have a problem with that. I don't care if that is your partner. Your partner is not here to do free labor just cause without credit, especially when they made the expectation that if they're going to do this, they need this. So do I believe that Madeleine should have gotten that written down? Absolutely. You should always have a paper trail. But yeah, I feel like she's being fucked over by Luke, and I didn't appreciate the patronizing way that his dad was talking to her. He was basically telling her, get over it. You're getting married tomorrow. You need to get over this. Yes, do I think that Madeleine can be a brat? Yes. However, the things that his dad pointed out about her jealousy, I think it's one thing to be jealous, and I think that it's one thing to have expectations and have your partner know your expectations and purposely bulldoze it and then hide it because he knows that he fucked up. And that is what Luke does. So I don't think that she's angry without a cause. And again, I thought that was really dismissive. So I really hope that she doesn't go through with this wedding. He's another disgusting guy that, in my opinion, preyed on a much younger woman. And then lastly, there's Jenny and Sumit. Oh my God, my nose is getting so stuffed up. Lastly is Jenny and Sumit. And it's the same old of Jenny being surprised that she's going into an Indian family that doesn't operate like an American family, and where, yes, you are older than his mother, but his mother is the matriarch. Jenny is getting on my nerves. However, do I believe that the family in itself has issues? Yes. And I would enjoy it more if they had a therapist, but I did enjoy, I think, the second to last episode where they were all at a picnic and basically everyone let out their grievances with the mom. And, I feel bad for her that she felt ganged up on, but I think it was like the first time that like everyone, aside from Jenny and Sumit, had things to say, like Sumit's brother, Sumit's sister-in-law. Like they were like, you are so harsh with the rules. It's not just with Jenny. The mom was like, oh, I'm not a control freak. And they're like, no, but you are, because if we don't do things how you like it, we don't hear the end of it.
I don't know. I'm too old for this. I have to say, I can't have a boss.
But ultimately, they were all like, oh, yeah, we're just going to decide to, appease her. And if she says something, hear it in one ear, get it out the other. But that's no way to live. Like, there's no real solution with that. But that is how they're choosing. Jenny is not happy.
What the hell is going on here? I'm ready to get out of this craziness.
And I think she's going to be like, we're going to go to our own place. And in the teaser, I think Jenny is going to be like, I'm going to my own place. And the mom is like, no, you're not. And she tells Sumit, like, listen, if we don't leave, I'm leaving. I don't know with what money, but that's her plan. And that's it, you guys. That's really where we're at with The Other Way. Again, like, if anything interesting comes up, I will discuss. But I'm just so bored by this season. B90 has so much more exciting things going on right now. And I want these videos to be worthwhile for me, for you. So yeah, I would love to know your thoughts on how this season is going this far. I would love to know your thoughts on the Johnny and Chloe of it all, or any of these other couples, because what is even going on? But anyway, I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.